Welcome! Are you looking to cut out an electrical box or a low voltage mounting plate? In this video, I show you 3 real home DIY projects where I had to do exactly that. Each situation was different, so I used a different method and tool to get the job done safe and clean. Whether you're removing an old electrical box or cutting out a low voltage mounting plate, once you understand the process, it's much easier than you might think. Not every electrical box is installed the same way, so using the same method every time isn't always the best approach. But I'll show you how to choose the right method before you make your first cut. Let's go! So on this first one, I wanted to add recessed lights to my daughter's bedroom I was remodeling, which required me to add a third light switch. So I had to change out a 2-gang box to a 3. Now I have to warn you, working with electricity can be very dangerous. I would recommend consulting with a licensed electrician before attempting any electrical work. And you never perform electrical work without turning the breaker off and verifying there's no power. Now I'm very familiar with my house's electrical panel, but I still turned on the 2 lights that these 2 light switches operate and verified they were off after flipping the breaker off. Then I double check with my voltage tester, and you should never skip this step in case there's more than one circuit within the electrical box. Okay, before you can remove an electrical box, you first need to disconnect and take out whatever devices are installed in it, whether that's a receptacle, light switches, or something else. Now for mine, they were installed with some of the wires in the push-in terminal. You have to push a small screwdriver in the release slot next to the wire to release it, or you just cut them out if you feel you have enough wire length. And these light switches are really old and cheap builder's grade switches. I upgraded to Wi-Fi ones once this project was finished. Now I'm fast forwarding this part more than usual because the focus of this video is how to remove an electrical box. But after you remove the devices, pigtails, which are wires that are used to combine multiple wires together and leaves one conductor that can connect to the switch, now you have to straighten all the wires one by one because they're all inserted in the box's integral cable clamps that you will see me spread open soon. And if they're not straightened, you won't be able to pull the wires through the box. Okay, now that we got all the wires untwisted and straight, we can move on to the next step of the box removal. Okay, time to battle the box. I start by prying the box away from the mounting bracket. The only way to get this out without damaging the drywall is to cut it out. I take my reciprocating saw and cut between the box and the wood stud. You see me here pull the piece of bracket out. Okay, here's where I spread open the integral cable clamp for this bottom wire, because you're going to see at some point I need the bottom of the box free so I can flip it around. Next, I take my screwdriver to pry between the box and the stud to pull it away from the stud because it's also nailed in. This electrical box is really in here. I next use my Dremel to cut away the nails, but what I didn't realize, I was creating a little bit of smoke. Now you'll see in a second when I go to pull it out with my needle nose pliers, the smoke set off the smoke detector and I jumped. After a few seconds, I realized what happened, and after telling the girls everything is okay, I pulled out the nail. So next, I gotta cut out this top nail, so I repeat the process and use my Dremel to make quick work of it. The smoke detector didn't go off a second time. I must have not made as much smoke. Okay, now that the box is free, I want to pull down the bottom wire and pull it out of the box. This wire goes around the room to the receptacles, which is why it goes out the bottom of the box. So after a little pushing and pulling, I get it out. I set the wire back in the wall out of the way. I still couldn't get the box out, so I cut the hole a little bit bigger with my drywall jab saw, since I'm gonna need to do that anyway to install the 3-gang box. I finally see what's stopping me from pulling it out. There was still a tab that sticks out the other side. So I get my multi-purpose saw and I cut it off. So take note of that in case you're not enlarging your box and you don't want to cut away more drywall. Just angle the box and cut it out. You'll see me do that on the third example. So now that I have the bottom wire out and that tab out of the way, I'm able to rotate the box up and out. I help the wire slip through and it's finally free. Here's a shot of the box and you can see how the top integral cable clamps were knocked out by the builders. So here are all the wires. They're stapled to the stud so they're not going anywhere. That allows me to keep them tucked into the wall and out of the way so I can cut in the new 3-gang box. With a level on the box, I match up the right side with the existing hole and trace out what I need to cut on the left side. I use my drywall jab saw and make the cut. After a quick vacuum and baby wipe so I'm not stepping on a bunch of drywall dust, I try the new box just to see how it fits. I need to shave a little bit more off the top left corner, and now it fits great. So that's the first example of how to remove and cut out an existing electrical box. If you would like to see the complete project, I'll link the full video in the description where I install a third light switch, walk you through all the wiring, and show you all the steps for running a new electrical wire through the wall to install recessed lights for my daughter's room. If you're here to learn how to remove an electrical box, there's a good chance you'll find that video helpful to see what the next steps are. Okay, as you just saw, that box was really secured in there. Now let me show you example number 2 where I use a unique method to cut out a steel low voltage mounting plate. Now this was during an install of a big screen TV I mounted on the wall. I started by sticking my camera inside the wall just to check things out. I can see the far stud, and this low voltage mounting plate is attached to a stud on its right. So the right side of the mounting plate is where we need to cut to get it out. I use a magnetic stud finder to find my studs to plan out my wiring. I want to go left of that stud to add a 3-gang low voltage mounting bracket for this project. I just had to make sure it was contained within the IKEA cabinet I was mounting over it. Okay, the easiest way to cut this bracket out is with an oscillating multi-tool. It's screwed or nailed into the stud, so what I do is I bend my blade and cut through whatever it's fastening it. Usually it's fastened in 2 places, so you just move it around until you feel you're hitting the fastener, and the oscillating multi-tool cuts right through it. Every project's a different plan of attack depending on what you're cutting out and how it's fastened to the stud. I couldn't pull it out just yet, it was too large for the hole, but since I'll be enlarging the cutout, I leave it there until I'm ready for that. Some people just let it drop down in the wall. Here's a quick shot how the blade looks after I bent it. I just used my channel lock pliers to bend it. So that's the second example. We needed to use a different method to make our cut. If you'd like to see the complete project, I'll link the full video in the description. I show you every step of installing an 86-inch TV above IKEA cabinets, including how to run new electrical and data wires inside the wall, get through the fire block, and securely mount a heavy TV to the wall studs. If you're thinking about tackling a project like this yourself, I think you'll find it helpful. Now let me show you example number 3. Now in this project, I had to remove a receptacle during an accent wall installation, but it was on an outside wall. You can see how they cut into the wall block to accommodate the depth of the electrical box. Watch me remove this one. It's similar to the first one we removed. I start by using a pry bar to reveal the metal bracket used to attach the box to a stud, so I can cut it along here. This time I use my oscillating multi-tool with a carbide blade versus the reciprocating saw. Either way works, but with the box mounted within an outside cement block wall, this method was a better choice. Now because I'm using a new carbide blade, it cuts right through the metal bracket easily. As fast as I push, it cuts. Then I just use my pliers to pull it out because it's now hot from cutting. Here's a shot how it looks. Next I use my small pry bar to move the box over, because remember there's that other tab to cut off. It's plastic so it cuts off super easy, so I use my oscillating multi-tool and make quick work of it. Now I just use my pliers to pull the box out. Whoever installed this box damaged the integral cable clamps, so I don't need to pry those open to release the wires, and it pulls out pretty easy. Here's a shot of it out. It gets pretty beat up during removal and cannot be reused. So that's it guys. I hope after seeing 3 real projects gives you a better idea how to approach your mounting plate or electrical box removal. As you saw, not every box is installed or fastened the same way, so the tool and method you use may be different for each project. The key is to figure out how the box is attached, take your time, choose a way to cut it free while avoiding unnecessary damage to the drywall. So hopefully after seeing these 3 examples, you're more confident choosing the right approach for your home DIY project. Please remember to hit the thumbs up if you like this video, and be sure to subscribe to watch more home DIY videos just like this one. Put any questions in the comments and maybe I can help you with your project. Click on the link on the screen to check out my playlist of anything electrical videos. In that playlist you'll find when I installed the recessed lights in my daughter's room, which was the first box we cut out. Another one I wall mounted an 86-inch TV in a small room, which was the low voltage mounting plate I showed you next, bending the oscillating multi-tool blade. Then the electrical box that we cut out with a carbide blade. That video is titled Moving a Receptacle/Outlet on a Shallow Wall. Thanks for watching and keep DIYing. Bye now.